the blue side, obviously, is in action on Saturday tea time against Tottenham Hotspur. That's Manchester City, an emphatic start to their season. Just the 5 goals for them. Tottenham scored 3. Yes, shock, horror. Man City are absolutely amazing. I mean, are we going to see a Tottenham side get anywhere near them this season? I mean, it's a very early fixture in the season. Both sides have been in the transfer market and been busy. Tottenham, probably the attention is more on that, isn't it? Because they don't traditionally spend money.
They had to. Yeah.
But, I mean, are we going to see anything in this game that would suggest or show perhaps where the title race is going to go?
I think for me, Manchester City should win it comfortably, especially at home. You know, they seem to be steamrolling everybody. You know, I think when you take into consideration that, you know, since that 2-1 defeat to Newcastle on the 29th of January, they've lost 1 out of 26 competitive games. It's an unbelievable return. You know, and it doesn't matter who they play. You know, they can chop and change, they bring people in. It's
the one thing Spurs won't have any fear though. Spurs know obviously the result they had against them in the Champions League as well. Okay, they looked a little bit shaky early on against Villa, but they finished very strong. They have got a very competitive squad now, Spurs as well, considering they're able to leave Vertonghen out, players like that. So look, I still think City are
I think the competition for places,
squad.
The competition for places at City, you know, is the key thing for me.
Yeah.
Even with Liverpool, you know, as I said, they could chop and change 1 or 2, but Manchester City could change an 11, and it probably wouldn't make that big a difference. You know, Jose said it, didn't he?
He did. No, he did. And from the point of view of the business that Spurs did do, I mean, so maybe if it's not about catching Manchester City, could they catch a Liverpool in second?
There's no doubt that, you know, Tottenham are a top team, and they can cause problems. But again, the squad, what will happen with Eriksen? You know, I think that
if he goes, do you think that's? I'm not saying that you can write the season off, but I mean that's a huge. Considering, I mean, up against they've done good business, but would that leave it on a sour note if Eriksen does leave?
I don't think you could write the season off if he leaves. But what I will say is, I think when you see Harry Kane playing the way he does when Eriksen's there, he can make movements. You know, Harry Kane's a fantastic player, but you know, Eriksen is that one who makes the difference. You know, with a little passes, he sees things. They've got a good understanding of each other. There is no doubt if Eriksen has to leave, Tottenham will be a lot weaker for that.
Do you think? I mean, if he does leave, as you said about the business, I mean, have they preempted him leaving with anyone they brought in the door for you, or is it a case of fingers crossed for them keeping hold of him?
It's fingers crossed because Eriksen, you saw the quality straight away when he came on against Villa. And as you said, I think the other players come alive. Kane comes alive when he gets on the ball. Ndombele obviously started off impressive, and they're expecting obviously big things of him, rightly so. Obviously for the fee that was involved, and could you imagine if Spurs had gone another transfer window if they hadn't got brought some players in? The manager.
Oh, I mean, they talked about it even more than they did do already, wouldn't they?
No, look. If they didn't keep hold of Eriksen, you could be worrying about the top 4.
Would you consider your position if you're continuously selling your best players? You know, if Eriksen's to go, if you want to, go and replicate what you've done last season, would you consider your position?
You have to wait and see what jobs were available, I think, before.
But sometimes it's better to go out a job.
No, hey, look, without a doubt, I think with the success, well, getting into the top 4, getting into the Champions League final. Having that kind of consistency that they've been able to show without delving too much into the transfer market shows obviously how good a manager he is. So he will be. He definitely has earned the right to have had a few additions to the squad, and I think he would be very upset if Eriksen did depart. When
we mentioned Pochettino there, obviously you've got Klopp and Guardiola, and you see these top managers going up against each other. From the point of view of playing in a club that was ruled pretty much on his own by Sir Alex Ferguson, and the challenge of other top managers that came at him, is there a sense of being top of the tree and it being easier to look down on everyone because you've got the motivation to stay there, or did a top manager such as Sir Alex relish these new people coming in and saying, look, well, we spent money, this is what we're going to do, almost like, come on then, this is what you've got to come after?
Yeah, he relished it, and he spoke about it too. He said, look, I'll take care of whatever after the games, press conferences, etc. You make sure you're doing your business on the pitch. And it was that motivation, as you said, the key thing of rising to that challenge. And that happened generally every summer, whether it was successful or not, there was a new addition to the squad, whether it be one addition or a couple of additions to the squad, or a couple of younger boys coming in competing from the youth or reserves to push the players all the time, because that's what the manager wanted. He wanted that continuation of a winning team, and obviously the challenge of the freshness to compete with everybody, and also to push himself and to push the team to make sure that the levels were maintained.
And is that, I mean, that big club mentality is where these top players, these top managers are born, isn't it, and bred?
Yeah, but I think, you know, to touch on the Sir Alex Ferguson thing, I don't think we'll ever see that again. You know, you take Arsene Wenger as well, you won't see one manager staying at a football club for that amount of time.
I think the control that they had as well, whether it be on the players they brought in or who they wanted to move out or etc.
Well, you look at Manchester United since he's left. You know, the whole thing, because he was that used to controlling everything. There's jobs everywhere. There's places now. Oh, you take care of this, you take care of that, and nobody really knows what they're doing. You know, and it's took so long for them to, well, you would, from a Manchester United point of view, hopefully try and get it back on the right tracks. But you know, I always think now that football clubs, there is different roles for people, and the manager, you know, he's going to take care of on the pitch. There's so much more going on at football clubs away from, you know, like the football manager being on the pitch. So, you know, I think that for me now, there's a lot more head coaches now, and that's the way it's going to be in the future. So
does Tottenham's head coach battle Manchester City on Saturday? What does he do to beat them?
Need a bit of luck. Hope that Manchester City have an off day, but you know, Maurizio Pochettino has set
really tend to do they?
But you know, Maurizio Pochettino has had, you know, a game plan that has caused problems against you know, City before, so there's no doubt that he'll go there and try and frustrate them, and you never know. You never know with somebody like Harry Kane, who can nick a goal from anywhere. You know, if you stay compact at the back. But the thing is, Manchester City just don't go away. They just keep knocking on the door, knocking the door, and they go until 93, 94, 95 minutes, whatever it may be. So
as you
it's
said,
a long afternoon.
When you looked at the bench and you looked at the players who weren't in the starting team too, the quality is deep.
But that's why they're pushing them on.
Squad.
You know, that even you've been there yourself. You get a start, and if you know you don't perform, the guy who's on the bench is coming in. So you need to perform, and even in training. So you know, I think that's one of the things that, you know, happens at big clubs now. You've got, you know, a squad of 20 players pushing each other on to that next level. You know, and Man City are at the top of that tree right now.
When you talk about players getting pushed on, it seems like someone like Sergio Aguero has evolved with what Guardiola wants. Kris mentioned Harry Kane, the two extremely talented centre forwards, aren't they? I mean, is the one that you'd lead more towards?
Well, look, after playing against both of them. Either one to do. Either one to do. No, look, Aguero just. But that's just because he was a bit smaller and he was harder to kick. But I could get to Harry Kane a bit easier. But
are you impressed with what he's done with his Manchester City career? Yes, he's won lots of
because
trophies.
I think
yes, he's scored lots of goals, but he's kept going. Hasn't
it was like as if there was doubts put on him that Guardiola was going to move him on. He wasn't liking his work rate. He wasn't liking this. You're thinking, hold on a minute. Look at the goals he's getting, and then obviously he thought, okay, I will press, because obviously if you're not in the Man City team, if you're not pressing hard, working from the front, setting that example, so he's adapted to it, and like all top players, adapting is the key.
And from the point of view of the game on Saturday, I think Kris is pretty resolute in who he thinks is going to win. For you, is it a City win at the Etihad?
No, I think it could,
he doesn't want to upset the United fans.
No, I think because of how Spurs have played against them the last few times, Spurs will be going there confident, and not many teams go to the Etihad confident of getting a result. But Spurs have the belief of what they've done against them last season to give them that confidence. So that will give them a chance to get a draw.
And for you, definite Manchester City win, Kris? Definite. You know, and to take up the thing with Aguero and Kane, it's Aguero. I mean, I could sit and watch Sergio Aguero all night, all day. Fantastic. You know, I love watching him because he is a throwback to the old striker. He wants to score goals. He's prepared to miss chances. He'll go back and back and back, even if he does. And what a fantastic finisher he is. You know, to come to Manchester City when he did, and you know, you look at it now, the club's top goal scorer. It's a fantastic achievement, because you know, I don't want to say, a lot of South Americans, they don't really stay in a place for that long.
Yeah.
You know, they always move about, and I know Messi's always been at Barcelona, but when you look traditionally over that, you know, they go to clubs for a little bit and they move on. You know, he's came, he's settled in Manchester, and he's obviously loving it when you see his performances on the pitch.